Let's talk about collisions and physics. It is exactly what it sounds like. Physics are things that make gravity pull. Do you remember, you drop a feather, you drop a ball, how quickly do they drop? That kind of stuff. It kind of brings back that science in there. So let's just take a look at something that could maybe explain this a little better. So I'm going to select the crate and move it up into the air. Now I have added a rigid body to this crate. Right here you can see it, a rigid body. So when I select, I'm going to move this a little bit in front of our guy so you can actually see it. When I select play, this crate drops. It becomes physical. And the avatar can actually move it around as it moves. It has become physical. It is physics. So let me go back and show you how I added that rigid body to the crate. Just controlling Z, trying to move it back to where it was, just so I can get it out of the way. And maybe we'll add the rigid body to our wonderful coin that we created. I don't know why I can't click in here to select my coin. Very strange. So the coin, as you can see, has no rigid body. But in our game, we're going to need to connect with the coin. We're going to need to somehow show that the character touches that coin. And in order to do that, we need to provide some physics and a rigid body to the coin. So what we'll do is first add that rigid body. So I'm going to go over into this wonderful inspector window and add component physics rigid body. We now have the rigid body. I want to make sure that when I'm playing the game, because there's something that calls when you get into scripting, it's going to say, has that been triggered or not? So we're going to need to check that is triggered in the capsule collider. So we now have it triggered. We now have a rigid body. We also need to make sure the is kinematic is selected. And this allows for that interactive component when we start the scripting. I know it sounds kind of strange now, but it needs to be done. And that's pretty simple, and all you have to do for physics and collisions in a game is make the object a rigid body. So if we go back to the crate here, you can change the way the gravity is used in any object by messing around with these particular numbers right here. So go ahead and play around, have some fun with it. That's all there is to collisions in physics.